Today is 19th November 2012. The topic of discussion for this evening is also about karma. It is based on a discourse known as the Lona Kapala Sutta, the discourse with the simile of a cup of salt. At the beginning of this discourse, the Buddha said, whatever actions a person does, he will have to experience the result of that actions. And if that be so, there will be no chance to make a complete end of dukkha or suffering. But if someone says, whatever result producing action a person does, he will have to experience the result of that actions. And if that be so, there will be the noble practice of purity or living a holy life. There will be a chance to make a complete end of dukkha or suffering. So from these teachings, it gives us a hope that we could attain cessation of suffering or be free from the samsara or the cycle of birth and death again and again. So as you know, karma is defined as the cetana is karma, or volition is karma. So karma can be done through the thoughts or the speech or through the body, and each actions also can be divided into whether it's wholesome or unwholesome. If you want to know whether the action is wholesome or unwholesome, then you need to examine the mind. You have to examine whether the mind or your intentions is defiled by the three roots of evil, or it is not defiled by the three roots of evil. So the cause of actions or the origin of actions can be due to greed, hatred, delusions, lobha, dosa, moha. The cause of actions also can be due to non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusions, or in other words, alobha, adosa, amoha. So if the action is defiled by the three roots of evil, then these actions is not a wholesome actions. So that unwholesome actions or evil actions could cause pain, suffering to others, or cause pain, suffering to oneself, or to both. And then one would also feel regrets or remorse when this unwholesome action had been done or had been committed. And then if an actions arising out of non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusions, or in other words, due to feeling of generosity, loving kindness, compassion, and wisdoms, then these actions is an wholesome actions. So that wholesome actions will bring happiness or welfare to others, or to oneself, or to both. At the same time, one will never feel regrets, feel remorse. One would experience joy or happiness in the mind, or when wholesome actions is done. So, do you know the criteria to differentiate between unwholesome actions and wholesome actions? So, unwholesome actions involve unwholesome mental states of greed, hatred, delusions. It causes pain, suffering, and one would feel regrets, remorse over it. But the wholesome actions is done because there's a mental state of non-greed or generosity, or then non-hatred or loving kindness and compassion, non-delusions or wisdoms. Then others and oneself would also enjoy or experience happiness and welfare when this wholesome action had been done. One who has done the wholesome action would experience happiness in the mind. The mind is being uplifted when this wholesome action is done. So this is what I call meritorious actions. When anybody accumulates merits, the mental states, the mental attitude is one of the important factors to determine whether this wholesome actions is also amounting to a meritorious actions. Then the Buddha said further in this discourse, he said, in this world, a certain person does a trifling evil deed. A very small, seems like a very minor evil deed. However trifling that deed may be, it would take him to niraya or to hell. But on the other hand, there are persons that are not affected in the present existence by this trifling deed, trifling evil deed, and that evil deed will not have even a little effect, or let alone a great effect in the next existence. So you know what kind of person is led to niraya by even a trifling deed he has done. But what kind of person is not affected in the present existence by the same trifling evil deed, and that deed not even having a little effect in this life, or let alone a great effect in the next existence. So the Buddha say, in this world, if a certain person has no training with regard to the body, that means his bodily conduct is not trained, is not developed. He has no training in morality, has no training of the mind, has no training with regard to knowledge. So such person, the Buddha say, is of little significance and of small body. Such person has to suffer for even a trifling evil deed. Isn't it? If a person bodily conduct is very evil, very bad, does not observe any morality, or does not develop or cultivate the mind, or does not meditate, or does not have any knowledge of wisdom. So we say this person is of little significance. or we can people tend to ignore such person. So such person is of a small body. It means this person prestige is very low, very little. He has only a very little prestige. But on the other hand, if a certain person has training with regard to the body, in other words, his body conduct or behavior is well cultured. He has training in morality, or has training of the mind, has training with regard to knowledge or wisdom. So he is not of little significance and is of big body. He lives a life free from mental defilements or kilesa. So the Buddha say such person is affected in the present existence by the trifling evil deed, but that deed not having even a little effect, let alone a great effect in the next existence. So a big body, or in Pali means mahatat, it means a person that has the person who has a great prestige. So the Buddha give a simile. So if you were to put a cup of salt into a bowl containing a little water, then the water in the bowl become undrinkable. It's because very salty. It's because there's only a little water in the bowl. But if you were to throw a cup of salt into the river of Ganges in India, then the water in the river of Ganges will not become undrinkable. So it's because there's a great mass of water in the river of Ganges. So here implies that when one accumulates a lot of merits, sometimes the merits could dilute the effect of the evil deeds. Then in this discourse, the Buddha also gives other similes. Sometimes a person could be imprisoned if he stole half a silver coin, or a silver coin, or for 100 silver coins. But on the other hand, a certain person is not imprisoned for stealing half a silver coin, or for a silver coin, or for 100 silver coins. So do you know who are the person will be imprisoned just for half a silver coin, but another person will not be imprisoned for half a silver coin. So if that person has a very few possessions, or in other words has a little wealth, so such person will be imprisoned for stealing half a silver coin. But on the other hand, if that person is very rich, has a lot of wealth, then this person will not be imprisoned for half a silver coin. So do you agree this simile given by the Buddha? Similarly, an owner of a goat or a cow might kill a person who stole his goat or cow, or fine him or punish that person who has stolen his goat or cow. But on the other hand, the owner of the goat or cow might not kill or punish another kind of person who has stolen his goat or cow. So do you know what kind of person could be killed or punished by the owner, or if the other person stole his goat or cow? The Buddha said, a person who is very poor, has very few possessions, only has very little wealth. So if such person had committed stealing, then the owner would kill him or even punish him. But on the other hand, if a person is very rich, has a lot of wealth, or very influential, or maybe a king or a king's ministers, so the owner might not kill or punish such a person for stealing his goat or cow. Instead, the owner would have to plead or to beg that person kindly return his goat or cow to him, or give him the price of that goat or cow he has taken. So do you agree? This simile given by the Buddha. So in other words, due to ignorance or delusion in the past, we might have committed some wholesome deeds. So this is what I call old actions or old karma. So as long as one is not enlightened, and as long as one is not free from this cycle of birth and death, then the results of these unwholesome deeds could be ripening when there's a condition. As you know, in the previous talk, I mentioned that this samsara, the long course of birth and death, is without discoverable beginning. You do not know the starting point. It could not be comprehended. So throughout this long course of birth and death, it's difficult to comprehend how many unwholesome deeds we had done, and how many wholesome deeds we had done. Certain karma or actions that we had done in the past will be ripening whenever there's condition. Certain actions, when they were committed, if the results is not ripening in this life, then you will not be ripening in the future existence. But some actions, whenever have been committed, then it could be ripening in one of the future existence, or as long as one is not free from the samsara, it may be ripening at any one of the existences, or as long as we are in the samsara. So one could be experience the results of past actions as long as one is living in this samsara as a worldling. But if one desires to live happily, then one has to avoid evil, or one has to accumulate merits. For example, if one desires or aspire to live a long life in futures and be healthy always, then one has to observe the moral precepts as the first precept. There's not to kill and not to harm, and at the same time be kind or develop compassion to all living beings. So by intentionally abstain or restrain from killing, at the same time be kind, develop loving compassion, eventually one will experience the result from these wholesome actions. So if one desires to live happily, long life, always healthy, then one should be wise to choose the right actions. So whatever actions you are doing now in this way life, we can say is the new actions or new karma. So this new karma also can be performed through the mind, or through the thoughts, or through the speech and the body. Then what is old karma? There's another discourse explain that the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind are old karma. So in other words, these are the result. This can be considered as the result of the old karma. So due to the old karma, so in this life you are endowed with these faculties, or the six sense faculties. So when you have these sense faculties, especially the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and body, will continuously come into contact with the external world. You come to perceive many sense objects, visible objects through the eyes, sound or voice through your ear, smell through your nose, the taste to the tongue, and tangible objects to the body. And very often the objects could be agreeable or not agreeable, or the objects can be that you desire very much or you do not desire. So when the object is agreeable, you desire very much, then what mental state will be arising? So you may longing for it or craving to have it. So in other words, mental states of greed or lobha will be arising. Then if the sense object are not agreeable, or you dislike or hate it, you hate it, then what mental state will be arising? So the feeling of aversion, anger could be arising, or in other words, hatred arising. So when unwholesome mental states or craving arises or hatred arises, then if one does not overcome it, then it would cause one or motivate one to violate the moral conducts. So, for example, due to hatred, one could be commit killing or violate the first precepts. So one creates a new karma. In our life, we have been committing or karma actions all the time. So when volitional actions are committed, then it will produce results. So the result is being born again and again, or sometimes in the heavenly states or good states such as human world, or sometimes result of unwholesome deeds ripening, then one may fall into four apaya world again. So if one does not want to be born again, then one has to stop create karma, creating new karma. So in other words, one has to attain cessation of karma. So when one attains the final liberations, then one also attains cessations of these three types of karma: mental karma, verbal karma, and body karma. So how to attain cessation of karma? So just now in the discourse, the Buddha said, whatever result producing action a person does, he will have to experience the result of that action. And if that be so, there be the noble practice of purity, or living a holy life, or there be a chance to make a complete end of dukkha. So in other words, if one desires to live a long life, then one has to produce actions that would bring such results. If one wants to live, one wants to be born in the Brahma world, then one has to commit actions that will produce results, being born in the Brahma world. But one rightly understand all these are impermanent. These are dukkha, or unsatisfactories, and anatta. Then one would be striving to be free from all kinds of existence. So as long as one has not realized these three common characteristics of existence, one may not put forth effort to be free from these all kinds of existence. So when one has not yet realized the three common characteristics of existence clearly, one may still desire to be born again, or in the human world, or Deva world, or Brahma world, and so on. But when one realizes the three characteristics of existence through the practice of vipassana meditation, then one would put forth effort to be free, to cultivate insight knowledge, in order to be free from this cycle of birth and death. So in other words, this feeling of disgusting about born in this existence will be arising, or nibbida. In the Visuddhimagga, he says just a fisherman, when fishing by using a kind of basket, then he thought he caught a fish inside the basket. Then he put his hands inside the basket and caught this fish. But when he brought out, it was not a fish, it was a snake with a 3 mark. So he had fear and disgusting, holding that snake, swinging over head vigorously, and then throw it far away. So what are these three marks? What are these three marks appear in this snake or the head of the snake? MARKS. So these three marks are anicca, dukkha, anatta. So as you know, in the Dhammapada, there's verses sabbe sankhara anicca, yada panyanya passati, yada panyanya passati, atha nibindati dukkhe, atha nibindati dukkhe, esa mago visuddhiya. That means all compounded things, conditioned by the karma, are impermanent. Compounded things, compounded thing means sankhara, conditioned by the karma, are impermanent. So when one comprehends this truth by vipassana jnana, then one begins to feel dissatisfied. The dissatisfactions are growing. So one becomes weary of all this suffering. Weary means like tiring. So this satisfactions or feeling of nibbida will lead to the right path, the true path. So eventually one will attain nibbana and free from all defilements. Similarly, sabbe sankhara dukkha, all compounded things are unsatisfactory.